Yes.
What we got here?
This is the boy Adam. We did it. Bainbridge Regional, second place. Tenpai Dragon, one of the first in the TCGs to do it. This deck list, let me tell you something, okay? This deck list is not going to be the craziest deck list you've ever seen. It's probably going to confuse a lot of you out there. I put this deck list together the day before, and I had some cards that weren't there at the time, so I kind of had to figure some stuff out, okay? But here, let's get started. All right, so first thing we're playing, obviously, the three white dragon. I don't know the names of these cards. I just know that there's one white and one red, and then the green one. We're only playing two of the green one. It's obviously the worst one, but still not the worst one if you know how to use it correctly. There's still a lot of times where I was setting this card and like passing on turn 0 if I had nothing else. And a lot of people just didn't know what I was on, and they would attack into it. And if I had one in the grave, or like if I had a way to get one into the grave on their turn, it would just kind of catch them off guard because they wouldn't be able to put together that this one would get me another body on board, and then I could just synchro off. Would get me the red one on board, and then I could just synchro off and start doing stuff. I can just turn off their entire battle phase and let it come back to me, and then I kill them. That's it. And then I played the one Magna. I wish this card was at 3. This card was clutch all day long. I played against Branded, and it was insane. They went first because they didn't know what I was on, and I hit them with Magna during the end phase. Got to search engine, and I had like five hand traps, and the card just came in clutch. I don't know if I could play other Bestials. Magna just was insane. It just acted as interruption and a way to get to engine. So obviously the 3 quick plays. This card is insane. If you can figure out a way to make sure this card doesn't get ashed, and I'll explain that with this next card right here, the Field Spell. Now, the Field Spell is, a lot of people say the Field Spell is really good, and it is really good. However, I was mainly using the Field Spell to bait out Ash out of my opponents, because a lot of people will just hit this card thinking, oh, it gets you to engine, so let me Ash it real quick. But most of the times, if I opened up Field Spell and Quick Play, I would just force the Ash with the Field Spell or the Ghost or the Ghost Ogre or whatever, and just go to battle phase and just kill them from there. A lot of people just put way too much implication on this card because it makes you can't do anything to my stuff during main phase 1, which is fine, but most people will end on 1 hand trap, maybe 2 if you know how to play around the other one, and you can force the first one out of their hand. You just straight win from there. That's pretty much the entire Tenpai engine. I will say I did play the set rotation, and where there's a will, there's a way. Shout out to Konami for making this the worst translation I've ever seen on a card's name. The phrasing is literally an English phrasing, and this is what they gave us. But hey, shout out. The card works fine. The theory behind this is me and Andrew Renfro. Shout out to Andrew Renfro. We spoke about Necro Valley. We spoke about a lot of other field spells that we can give our opponents. But what it came down for me was I'm a huge fan of bricking. I really like bricking. It helps a lot. It really boosts my confidence as a player. I used to play Rescue Ace. Shout out to the traps every day in my hand, all day, every day. If I didn't see them in a game, if I didn't see the hand traps in a game or the trap cards in my hand in one game, there was a problem. Regardless, that meant if I saw this card, at least it could act like a Pot of Prosperity for me. And there was a game where I saw this and Pot of Prosperity, and I got to dig through like 12 cards in my main deck, got to exactly what I wanted, and just blew my opponent out. Also, set rotation. Set rotation is insane, especially in the Fire King matchup. You just let them do their full combo. They keep Fire King Island on board, and then you just hit them with set rotation whenever you need to, and then set rotation clears their Fire King Island and blows up their whole board. Really, really like this little package. I want to talk about terraforming. I didn't have the card, okay? I know it's a comment in every set. Never needed it, low-key. I was I was smacking up my opponents within 5 minutes.
Oh my god.
Hey, but shout out to the Bainbridge people. That wasn't like a diss or anybody like that. But the terraforming, I mean, it definitely, if it was there, it would have been cool. I just don't know what I would have cut for it, to be honest. Maybe go down on 2 hand traps, but I really like the hand trap count. So, but let's get back into this. Obviously, the 3 prosperities. This card makes the deck. Obviously, the deck isn't like insanely consistent. The ideal percentages, you want to open up 4 hand traps and an engine piece. But this card just insane. You can kill your opponents through it. You already know the deal. Tenpai goes crazy with this card. If this card gets limited, I don't know what's going to happen with Tenpai, but this card, yes. From there, the steel cards, Change of Heart and Minecon. There was argument for me to cut this out and put in like the terraforming. Again, I just didn't have the card. I contemplated playing thrusts over these, but I kind of just got bored of waiting for my opponent to do stuff. I just really wanted cards that can just impact the game immediately, so I can just OTK my opponents. I did play against a lot of Snake Eyes that were just that would leave Appaloosa on board or something like that, and I just change of heart or mind control it, and then it would just pack it up from there. I just do my whole combo, and they can. Good luck trying to princess me. I can just negate that stuff. Duster and Lightning Storms, probably the MVPs of the entire thing. If I saw this card, I'm killing you. These cards were just absolutely insane. Paired up with this card, oh my god, it was crazy. I mean, I would just Lightning Storm, call back row, chain droplet, get a free negate. It was crazy how this little package worked. I don't think there's a time where these cards are going to leave the main. I just like them way too much. From there, that was pretty much it for the board breakers. I didn't play any more. At least I don't think. I didn't play any more board breakers. That was it for the board breakers. There wasn't really anything else that I wanted to play other than that. There was a conversation for Super Poly to be played in the main, and I spoke to Renfro and Brian and Statsky about it, but everyone was telling me don't play it. I was really wanting to play it, but the logic behind it was you discarding another card from your hand to be able to board break them was already like crazy, especially because most of the time I was opening up 1 or 2 hand traps. So it was like I'm starting my turn with 4 cards. If I super poly them, I go down to 2, and then it's not even like I'm not 100% there. I'm on 2 cards left, and if they have a single Ash or Veiler, I might just straight up lose the game from there. So yeah, I was against it going into it. I wanted to play Super Poly, but they kind of forced me not to play Super Poly, and I'm not gonna lie, it was the right choice. It felt a lot better. Having an extra card in my hand made a lot of people think about the decisions they wanted to make, and sometimes they just made the wrong decision and it won me the game. From there, the 3 Veiler, this card came in clutch against Snake Eye, obviously, because it's Veiler. In the mirror, it's instant side out. Didn't do anything for me. Same thing with Nibiru. Card was okay. It wasn't crazy. I don't know how I necessarily feel about it. It obviously hits Rogue, but this deck is weak to Lab. This does nothing against Lab. Not saying that I want to main something for Lab, but I'm already maining the Lightning Storms and Dusters for them. It just felt weird throughout the whole thing. I don't know. It worked a couple times, but I don't necessarily know how I feel about it. There might be a conversation for Ogre or Mourner in this slot, or maybe a terraforming. But yeah, that was it for those. And then the last 6 hand traps are the Imperms and the Ashes, mandatory. I think these cards are just the MVPs of the meta. This card was insane. Whenever people would make me go first, I would not side out this card, and I would just keep it in my hand. I wouldn't set it if I drew it. And then I would make Seals pass, and then I would Seals their field spell, the Snake Eye field spell, or I'll Seals like I'll Seals the Ash back to their hand so they can't get to Flame Burge or something like that. And it would clear my board, and they would think that they're safe. And a lot of times, what I'll do is like they'll have the field spell, and they'll go normal summon Ash. I'll chain the seals, bounce the field spell, and then chain the imperm from my hand, and they just never saw it coming.
And that's gas, actually.
Yes,
That's sick, yeah.
yes, sir. And shout out to Steven Santoli for teaching me that little trick. He used to do it with a rescue ace. He would if he got hand trapped on the hydrant, he would banish the hydrant with preventer, make the SP line, and then he would end with SP hydrant, and then on his opponent's first action, he would banish both cards, clearing his board, and then he would imperm them because they never saw it coming. But shout out. And then extra deck, SP and Striker. This was my option. Again, I didn't have the cards in time, so I did not play the Link Climb package to kill my opponents with Zelantis and Raging Phoenix and Promethean Princess. I didn't have those cards in time, so I just didn't do it. This was my alternative. I did get debarriered, I want to say like 4 or 5 times. I still won every game that I got debarriered with no Link Climb package. Because if I got debarriered, I would just deal like 5-6k with just the 3 main dragons that I played. And then main phase 2, I would just make Striker, make SP, banish the OSS Engrave or banish something on their board. Just lock them out of getting into engine next turn. And then this combined with like 2 hand traps in my hand would just seal the game. It'd come back to me and then I just kill them. That's that. And then synchros. Oh, I did play. Hold on. Sorry. There's links in here as well. Yeah, I played double seal in the Hida. Don't question me why I played this card. There's no reason for me to play this card if I wasn't playing the Link Climb package. I just didn't have another. I just didn't know what to put in the extra deck other than that. I just liked it because in the mirror, if I just baited out all their hand traps and I had 2 bodies on board, I just make this card, steal their engine, and then kill them that way. That was pretty much it. And then the 2 seals, most people are playing 1. I played a second because I was like, I don't know if I just brick infinitely or like I get debarriered twice in a row or something like that, which did happen, and I did make this twice in a row when I got debarriered. But it just worked. Also, it was an easy card to prosperity off. And then from there, we're going to actual synchros, the actual Tenpai synchros. One of this, there's no reason to play more than 2, and then 2 of these. The second one came up a lot. If I missed lethal or they stopped it, Ghost Bell kind of cooked this. If you didn't open up the red guy, or sorry, not the red guy. If you didn't open up the green guy, you're kind of getting cooked by this card. So it's kind of really weird playing it like that. But the second one did come up on the crackback. And then these cards that I didn't make once, except this card, obviously. Dryden, Dragion, I made it once. Most people were scooping before I got to this point because they kind of saw the combo and they're like, oh yeah, okay, I'm dead.
The amount of people that were like, all right, you kill me, and you were like, do I?
I built this deck 2 days ago, Friday night, the night before the actual regional. It was like my first time actually playing this deck with Andrew, and we were practicing the mirror, and it got crazy because I was just like surprised at how much this deck can do with just like 1 single starter. So I just kept rocking and rolling, and yeah, I made it once, and I actually missed lethal on it that one time because he mortared it on summon, and I was like, dang, I missed lethal, and then it didn't really matter because next turn I just made the big guy, and I popped the field spell, and I ran over because he made Chaos Angel thinking that he could survive, but I'm him, so he didn't.
Jesus.
These are the other synchros that I played. Black Rose was cool, never made it. This card in theory was good, never made it. This card we put it in because we had an extra slot. This card never made it. This card never made it. This card never made it. There was a conversation to make this card against Snake Eye. They didn't make it past turn 2. That's it for the extra deck. The side deck, the 3 Santa Claus. Watch out. Go ahead.
It's Christmas time.
Yes, sir. I was giving out presents all day long. It never came up. I cited it once, never saw it. I didn't play any against any of those like Raid Raptors or like the big tower decks. And if I did play against like Snake Eye, I just valued the steel cards in my hand and whatnot. It was cool. It's probably not going to get played moving forward. Maybe it'll get played if Raid Raptor catches like a huge break or whatever. But that deck breaks like God. So that's it for that. And then the other Bastiles, the True Druis and the Sornir. And then Cosmic Cyclone. This card is insane. Probably the best card in the side. Huge fan of this card. Argued to be mained, maybe. I don't know. I really think this card is super crazy. But it kind of fits better in the side. I don't know. We'll see. And then the 3 shifters. This was a piece of Andrew's idea. He really liked shifter. Not going second, going first. You just shifter on your turn and then pass. And most of the time they can't do anything, or they set up a mediocre board and then you kill them. It was all right. I kind of valued seeing a hand trap over this card. And a lot of times the other card that I would side in with it was Heat Wave. If I saw Heat Wave before I saw Shifter, this card was completely dead in my hand. So Heat Wave was cool, but it's kind of the idea of you have to see the card to do anything with it. I saw it maybe like once or twice. Heat Wave my opponent. It worked. It got the job done. It got it back to my turn, and I killed them. But I don't know if I'm playing Shifter moving forward. Didn't really feel that crazy. That's pretty much it. I want to give out some couple shout-outs to the homies for helping me build this deck. I had no idea what I was doing. Obviously, there was a huge stroke of luck going into this. I played against a couple good players, a good amount of good players. My only loss was to Snake Eyes. I didn't, game 1, I didn't open up Engine. Even though I won the die roll, I didn't open up Engine. I told him to go first. I opened up only hand traps. I lost the game. Game 2, game 2 was so rough. I told him to go first again, came back to my turn. I got de-barriered, but I didn't have the link cards to climb. And if I had the link cards, it was just an OTK, and I pushed it to game 3. But he was a phenomenal player. And then from there, I went on the following round to play against my mentor, the person who put me on this deck. Shout out to Mr. Andrew Renfro. Not actually my mentor, but he's the one that kind of came up with the idea of certain cards to play in here. And we play tested the mirror for hours the night before. So kind of helped me get an idea. That's pretty much it. Did not expect to get second place, but it is what it is. We did it for the Bryn YGO channel. We got 2 tops, first and second place, and shout out to Joseph Statsky for getting 8th place. Got a new deck box, the blacked out deck box. That's how we do it. Yeah. Also shout out to Jacoby, the man, the GOAT himself, showed up the night before the regional to let me borrow some cards to actually play this deck. Shout out to Joe for pulling the last white dragon that I needed in the main deck to play the day of the regional from his entry packs. Shout out to obviously Brian for being the homie. He got lucky, he got a draw, I got a loss. That first place would have been mine, but that's okay. I'll let that slide. Next time I'll catch him. Shout out to Tino and the YGO process for being homies. Shout out to, actually I was going to say shout out to Jeremy Mitchell, but no, shout out to Jeremy Mitchell. He's not playing this game no more, and he won't come back because he's scared. He knows what I'm about to do if he comes back. He thinks he's the Nat champion. I'm about to knock his head off, okay? But shout out to the entire Jax crew, man. Shout out to Victor, shout out to Levan, shout out to Marcus for playing, shout out to Jorge for bringing poker chips to play in between rounds. Shout out to everybody else that was in the car. Shout out to Mike. But yeah, it was super fun. I enjoyed it. Looking forward to see what we can do. And yeah.